So I'm Dr. Aaron Brennan. I'm a GP here in Galway East Medical Practice in Galway City. I'm also a GP trainer with the Western GP Training Scheme, and I'm on the programme directing team of the Ballinasloe GP Training Scheme. I'll never forget the first day of coming into GP training for the day release and actually been sat down and someone asked me what I wanted to learn. And it was the first time anyone had ever actually asked me that, I think. Because up until that, learning seemed to be the kind of thing that you did while you were providing service. So you do this and you might pick up little bits as you go along, but suddenly then with GP training, someone was there to say, what do you want to get out of this? What can we do for you? How can we help you get you where you want to go? And that was it, I was sold. What's very important about GP training that I thought was different from when I was doing hospital training is hospital training is very much a trying to produce a defined product. Whereas I think in GP training, what we're trying to do is trying to get someone to become what they can become, as distinct from being focused on what that will be. In other words, if you're doing your higher specialist training in respiratory, I often think what we're trying to do is we're trying to create someone who is an image of what we are ourselves, or that consultant teacher will be doing themselves. Whereas in general practice, I've worked with loads of GPs, I've worked in loads of places, everyone practices a little bit differently, everyone brings a little bit different to the table, and trainees do too. I'm not trying to make a trainee practice like me, I'm just trying to make them, to get them to a place where they've kind of blossomed into the GP they always could have been, I suppose. And that takes more than just, that takes a lot of listening as well as, teaching and things like that. So when we're doing our one-to-one tutorials and things like that, it will be a lot of focusing on what someone thinks about things themselves or what they want to achieve out of it, rather than me coming in with a kind of a list of things of these are the things that you need to know, and then when you do, you'll be a GP. It's more, where do you want to get to? And I think that's one of the things I prize most about general practice training, in that it is very, where do you want to go, as distinct from this is where you need to get. One of the things that's important, I think, as any kind of doctor, but particularly as a GP, and I always chat about it to the trainees quite a lot, in that you might see 30 people a day as the GP, but they might see one GP ever. So the idea of that role is really important, and the buy-in from the patient can be really massive. And people tend to take a lot of ownership over, you're my GP. And that's what we say about people, so if you ask a patient, who's your GP? My GP is such and such. That's who I go to, that's where it is. And I think that's a nice thing. It was one of the things I used to like to happen when, even just kind of getting letters back about stuff that would come back from the hospital and things like that, that they're telling me because I'm their GP. I'm the one that's going to look after them. I'm the one that has looked after them through the last thing, and I'm going to look after them through the next thing. And that's a nice thing, and I think that's a valuable thing.